Oops.
Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast, episode number 75 with Lisa Smith of Iron Tiger Weightlifting Club and Healthy Women 901. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at liftrunlong. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you are not a member of our private Facebook group, you should be because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. My name is Wilson Horrell. I am one of your hosts. Vaughn is the other one over there taking selfies, which I get excited to see every night when we finish the podcast because I like looking at Instagram and seeing that I've been tagged in something.
I have a brand spanking new phone, which I don't know if you've noticed, but the difference between the iPhone 8 and the 6, the pictures are so much better.
I've heard the pictures are phenomenal.
So get ready for an onslaught of workout pictures and everything else you could possibly imagine. Videos, etc.
All pictures are co-licensed by me, so you'll send me all pictures.
Right. I signed a waiver to where LHRL has exclusive access to all of my photos. They go right on the Dropbox, and Wilson just has his way with it.
Yes. I've kind of fallen into the interest of Photoshop.
Oh, yeah. You're doing good, too, man.
You think so?
Yeah,
I like to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a hard thing for me to, like, do all that stuff. But you're progressing quickly. I've just really noticed, like, the difference in your images that you use for the different posts on the daily website or whatever.
Well, that was you encouraged that, and that's a scary thing. Photoshop is so powerful, and you look at it for so long, and then by the time your eyes are like burnt through the retina, you don't even really know if what you are looking at is
that's
any
one
good
thing
at
you
all.
have to learn is, like, when you're designing stuff like that, like, you look at it for so long, by the time you're done with it, it's like, this looks like crap.
Yeah.
I got to start over, but really it looks way better than you think. So you have to learn to just be like, okay, this is it.
And I have a cheese factor of about 10 as it is, so I can put out like really cheesy stuff if I'm not careful. But anyways, here's somebody sitting to my right who is not cheesy, but she's smoking hot.
Yeah.
And that's my highly intelligent, incredibly talented, wonderfully nurturing and caring, loving wife.
Did he do something wrong?
I mean, I just love her.
He does that.
He does it every time.
I'm a lucky guy. Dr. Amanda Kimsey Horrell, also known as Jackson Tan.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
You looking well?
Thank you. Took a little nap before coming out here.
Yeah, you deserve a nap.
Tired.
You do a lot of work.
Whew. I got a marathon coming up. I'm tired.
You got a marathon coming up. You just finished a 50-miler. You got kids to tend to. You got work to go to. You
kitchen
got
to
classes to teach. You got kitchens to clean. You got me to keep up with.
Yeah, you running the full marathon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow. Good
Have
for
fun.
You.
Yeah. You remember I did that the last time I did the 50-miler, turned around and did the marathon? I somehow lapsed in my judgment
right.
again.
I hadn't recalled that.
Lapsed my judgment and decided to do that again.
Most of the people are doing the half,
Yes.
right?
I got to work.
He signed up for the half.
Okay.
Melissa's doing the half. Brian Swanson's doing the 10K.
Are you saying you have a bib available for the half?
I can't give them away. I looked and you can't give them away, and I don't want.
Yeah,
I don't
you get
know
in
that
trouble
I
when you get banned if you get caught.
Well,
what do you think?
What do you think, Wilson?
I could run you a half marathon PR.
Well, that's the way it would get caught. Would be if I gave it to somebody like you, and I show up with a hour 40.
You're right.
Dang, you get banned for 2 years.
Oh, is it just 2 years?
Well,
Oh.
I mean, I know at least a couple of people who are probably treading the water on that gray area there. So I don't want to go into it because we'll call some people out. But
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
I don't want your bid. You keep your bid.
Well, that's good.
I don't want to run anyway. I ran 100 miles. I'm done.
Why the hell would you want to run another
anymore?
13? Really? And then next to Dr. Horrell, we have Lisa Smith.
Woohoo.
How are you?
Great.
Good. We're excited to have you.
I made it alive.
We love your watch. We all four have the same watches, so it's kind of like
We're the
club.
cool kids.
We are. I feel like we
Daydream.
I like your
the
band, though. I've not seen that
Phoenix
one.
5.
Amazon.
I love
I
Amazon.
saw a car pulling out of the driveway, and I sent a text to Lisa, and I said, "Is that you pulling out of
Don't go away.
the driveway?" And she said, "You mean this? Is it me? You turning out of this murderous-looking dark driveway?" Yes, that's me. Because this place is pretty sketchy if you don't know where you're going, never been here.
It is.
Yeah.
Right. I'll never forget just a quick little story that, like, there was one time when Wilson and I were here by ourselves, and he invited these two gals from a local business that was they were going to come out and give us something. I can't even remember, but they must have been like in their mid-20s, maybe. And I was like, they were so skittish. Like, I was like, can you imagine these two girls like driving out to Byhalia, Mississippi, driving up to this place and coming in here and being like, should we go into this garage or should we not? There's like these two guys. And
I was literally on the phone with my mother on the way down here, and she's like, "Where are you going? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Mom, you can watch it on Facebook. You can see it." She goes, "But they're not going to show after."
yeah, right.
The girls that were coming over here were from Ultimate Foods, so they thought that
That's
we were.
Oh, I've been trying to get in touch with
That's
them.
right.
They thought we were a gym. And
Oh,
so they
gotcha.
were coming to our gym out in Byhalia that just happened to be a studio with cameras and lights and a couple, 40-year-old men.
Not at
Sit
all
on
a
the
snuff
couch.
film.
Like, come on in, sit down on the couch. And, they're like 18. Like, we just have these flyers and we want to get out of here. And we're thinking like, let's just punt the football and everybody run separate directions and get out of here. All right. Well, a little housekeeping. It's been 2 weeks since we've done a podcast. We didn't do one last week because of Thanksgiving. Everybody have a nice Thanksgiving?
Yes. It was
So
awesome.
I'm jacked
Yeah.
to be back in the rhythm. The holidays are going to throw us off a little bit. I won't like that.
It's not going to throw us off too bad.
No, I don't
From
think so.
the way it sounds.
We'll probably miss one
We're
episode.
going to try to do one on the 20th, and then we should be all right.
Yeah. I think
Well,
so.
I mean, you got to edit it, so you may not have time to do that here.
yeah,
No,
he'll have time.
Yeah, I'll have plenty of time. I'll have plenty of time to do the editing. And we have a review. We do have one of those.
Let's hear it.
Happy to
Did we
have
get a
that.
bad
Happy to
one
read
yet?
that. No, we
Is
did
it a
not.
1-star? Oh.
No, it's a 5-star. We're not.
You guys are
getting
so
one star.
pessimistic. Goodness.
I'm ready for the
I'm gonna
haters.
I'm going to start doing fake ones. Bad reviews. What's with this
we
Wilson
got-
guy and his watch?
Don't do that. Don't do that. I'll shut it down. Next time you come, there'll be caution tape around here. All the stuff will be sold or thrown in the dumpster.
I don't even think Vaughn ran 100 miles. He wasn't even at the race.
He
I
can
didn't
still
see
walk.
him.
5-star review from JJ Bondman, LHRL Rocks. This group is a blast to talk with and listen to. Their promotion of fitness and group activity is something our community has long needed.
Nice.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Sweet.
We got a lot of nose breathing going on. Everybody check and move their thing down a little
I
bit.
am
Where do I put it?
That-
You should be
off
good.
on the corner of your mouth.
I am a mouth breather, so I
It
know it's not
bends.
me.
Probably me.
It's probably me too, honestly.
It's probably me because I worry too much about the olive oil. Is usually the problem.
Do you know who that podcast reviewer was?
I don't. I've thought about it a lot. JJ Bondman. But I don't
Hey,
know who that
I
is.
think a lot of people picked up on our LHRL community at the Tunnel Hill race this weekend.
it would be
you know,
hard not to.
I think a lot of people saw like, wow, these guys are pretty cool people.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And I hope that we'll encourage some people to do it next year and to do some other things. It'd be nice if we had a way of I don't know what the term is, not like geotagging everyone like they're cattle or something, but it would be nice if we knew where everyone was and where everybody was going to be for races, so people knew, like, hey, here's some folks.
Yeah, we did that pretty well at Tunnel Hill. We had a tent, North Mississippi Endurance, kind of put that together. And at St. Jude, we always meet at the same place usually, right? For the last couple of years, we've all been in the lobby of the DoubleTree Hotel.
Yep.
Yeah, I just meant if like 5 people out west were not just us, but if 5 people from the community were somewhere, all happened to be at the same place and didn't know it.
Oh,
there's a way
I
for
see what you
everybody
mean.
to know
We
where
don't have to
everybody
be
else
there.
was.
Everybody- yeah, right.
Yeah, because I mean we can't fly the LHR helicopter to a race every weekend.
One day.
But
Well,
one
you
day.
can get into app writing and write your own app so everybody can check into the app.
There you go. That's
Geotagging.
perfect.
There you go. That's
Yep.
a Vaughn challenge.
There it is.
Then you can help me do it too.
Valerie Hunt's been creating a community, a group for. She's going to be writing programs for Lift Heavy, Run Long, and she's going to form a community online where there's some short and sweet home workouts that you can do, body weight exercises that should be fun. We're going to see about having some giveaways and just making it, giving out prizes and doing a bunch of stuff to
Valerie's a rock
keep
star.
it fresh.
Yep.
She is a rock star. She's great.
been coaching
Cranking it
me.
out.
She's been coaching me for a while, helping me out. So, I believe in some Valerie.
She's a good 100 videos into it.
Yeah.
I mean, so we won't be shy of any information.
That's not even a lot. Like
Yeah, I know.
In Valerie
Yeah.
terms, I mean there'll be thousands.
And I can't imagine going into something like that and having access to a coach at your fingertips, the way that she'll respond.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you have a question and you shoot it to her through the app, you're going to get responded to within minutes, no doubt.
Yeah.
And you can ask as many questions as you want.
I've been lucky to have access to her. Like I hired the company she was working for several years ago, probably 4 years ago now. And she just ended up she just happened to be my coach, and I knew who she was because I followed the company. I followed her, CrossFit Endurance, and forever. And I was like, "Oh my God, Valerie's my coach!" and so like she sent me a message. She knew who I was already. I knew who she was. It was just so fun to have her as a coach, and we've just continued that relationship over the years, which is really cool.
Awesome. Did you see Amanda's race medal holder since she can't hold anymore?
Not
You see that?
jacked and tan. Who made that?
Same guy that did this on the Lift Heavy Run Long. He's on Etsy. I need to do. Oh, my phone's dead. I need to do a shout out to him next week.
Yeah,
That's some
doesn't
pretty sweet
I'm
stuff.
sure he listens to the podcast at this point.
You should. Tunnel Hill documentary is a wrap.
It is a wrap.
It's done with. It's loaded to YouTube. It's
Yeah.
it's unlisted, but you better not go looking at it. Do you get a notification that says something? You wouldn't do that.
I don't think I'd watch it. I really think I want to watch it with everybody.
At the showing.
Have you seen it, Amanda?
He won't show me any of it. I
Oh,
want to
good.
see. I wanted to see some of it, but
I think it would be cool to watch it all together. One thing I want to add: did you censor it or?
I bleeped curse words.
Okay, good. So because my kids are going to be there, so
Do you
I've
do
already
that here too?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I've already
Just-
prepped Jackson. I was like, okay,
But feel free. Cuss all you want. I'll just bleep it out. It doesn't take any time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I've
And so
already,
then I look at my thing and I'm like, okay, that was said around this time.
so I've already prepped my son. I was like, sometimes adults say dirty words. You might hear Dad say something he shouldn't have said, but it's and whatever. We're gonna go watch this film.
There is jackass and 2 assholes,
Yeah.
and that's
people.
Jack.
Just kidding.
Well, there's a lot more than that.
Sorry.
There's a jackass, 2 a-holes, and then I say the B word. But other than that, everything is bleeped out.
Sweet.
And I've gone kind of back and forth with that, but then I think like with the podcast, I want people to be able to speak however they speak. I've got terrible language, but I also want my children to be able to watch it and other people's children to I don't want them driving down Highway 40 and be like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
It's a weird thing. Like you have to, there are certain people that you are in your life where you're like, okay, you just said the F word and you have to explain to that person why you said the F word. And, that's
And
just
it's a double standard,
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's,
But I think at the end of the day, the safe thing to do is just bleep it out. You can't go wrong with a
agree.
good bleep.
that's good.
They're funny.
I love bleeps.
They
Yeah.
play well. And the documentary has got me. We started about 8 months ago. I started documenting and interviewing the people that were running the Tunnel Hill 50-mile and 100-mile race. And so I've journaled their progress the best that I can. A lot of work goes into that. And now I've got it all put together, and I'm scared to death because we're going to watch it Sunday. But you're welcome to come to the gym and watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Viewing
4
party.
o'clock on Sunday.
And I'm probably going to be vomiting out in the parking lot just out of fear and anxiety.
Compare my 50-miler experience.
Have you done one? Which one did you do?
Watchdog.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Climbed the mountain. What year did you go?
Good question. 15? I think.
Okay.
A couple
Yeah,
years
it's
ago.
possible that I was there.
Really?
Yeah, I ran it for like 6 years in a row, 5 years in a row.
I got sane after that and stopped running.
Oh, I love it. I'm thinking about going back in April because I haven't been in 2 years. So
Well, let's talk about that. The only thing I had else to talk about was my Bulldogs getting their butts whipped by Ole Miss, but we can skip right over that.
oh, you can totally skip over
Go
that.
on to that. How did you get into ultra running?
Oh man, such a long story. It's hard to know where to begin. But
Were you lifting weights before you were ultra running?
no. Well, yes, kind of.
Well, did we intro our fine guest here already? Did we give an introduction?
Knock yourself out. I mean, I did it when I did the introduction.
I'm sorry. I'm a little
I don't know if we
slow on it.
clarified for real
Yeah.
that she's like hardcore weightlifting now. So
Well, y'all have microphones.
I've had a long and interesting years of not knowing where I am and not knowing what sport to do. And I guess back in college, I was a lot chubbier and did a study abroad trip, came back, was sick, and I had was sick of myself, but I had lost some weight while it was in Japan, so it was a lot of walking, a lot of not, crappy food eating, and started getting into running just on my own. Did take a weightlifting class in college, so I was weightlifting a little bit. Swimming, I did too much. I started doing insanity too, and I ended up hurting my back and all kinds of crazy stuff. But got into 5Ks, 10Ks, kept going.
And you just decided you wanted to go do
Well,
one of the hardest
you know,
50 milers in the area?
Finished a fun run. I was like, you know what?
That 5K was pretty easy.
No, I
They,
met my boyfriend, and I started doing more what he was doing. We got into GORUCK, and we're doing that some, and trained for the St. Jude Marathon. That was like 2011. And then after that, he ran a 100-miler right when we first met. And so I was like, I want to try something and train for the 50. And didn't run the whole time. I mean, there's a lot of walking and a lot of bitching, but
yeah, that's what
Oh,
happened.
yeah.
That's how that works.
Is there something else that goes on there?
eating. I mean, I love potato chips when I do.
There you go.
But, and I was going to keep continuing. I got into triathlons too. And at that, a little while later, I got into XTERRAs, off-road triathlons. And I really, really liked those. Those were fun, different. I did one meet competition or a race, whatever you call it now. Did one of those, was going to do more, just didn't have the money to do it. And then while I was teaching during grad school, I got more into lifting and did that more because I just didn't have time to run. I don't like cold, so I don't like going out. And I started realizing I don't like to run. I don't like it. I never got past that point of, this is terrible, why am I doing this? So now it's started going to Iron Tigers last year. Yeah, mid last year. And realized that was the sport for me.
Now, how long has Iron Tiger been around?
So we started it about the time I was graduating. It just started as a student organization in 2015. And the student organization, I didn't go much, and
And to clarify, Iron Tiger is a weightlifting club at the University of Memphis.
it is we meet at the University of Memphis, but it's not Memphis only. Everybody can come. It's open. It's actually a USAW sanctioned club. We're also a nonprofit, so it's open to everybody. But yes, we do for now meet at University of Memphis.
So can anybody off the street walk in and be a part of that?
Yeah.
There's no qualifications. You don't have to squat this much or
Nope.
snatch this much.
Nope. Everybody can come. Everybody can learn. We're real small, and we're lacking in coaches. So if anybody wants experience in Olympic lifting coaching, please, contact, because I would love to have some more coaches. But we try to accommodate everybody. If you want to learn, we'll teach you. I mean, I've got two 11-year-olds that we
Oh, wow.
coach. Yeah. Yeah. I think we've had 3 new people in the last couple of months.
What's the fee for something like that?
Well, up until now, up until like when our old director left and I took over as the director, it was all donations because we couldn't collect money on school property, as fees or anything without paying the university something. Now we're at the point where we have to pay the university something regardless of what we're doing. So we are coming up with a new fee structure that'll take effect in January. But I mean, it's way cheaper than like a CrossFit. I think we came up with a month, nobody's going to pay more than $30 for now, while we're still growing anyway. And students have a different fee that goes semesterly, and that's handled by the student organization. But yeah, so we want to be as inclusive as possible, and we want to encourage everybody to get competitive and grow the sport.
How often do you meet? Do you practice, or do you have classes, or how does that work?
It's a practice. I meet 3 times a week right now, and it used to be 4. Right now, we're just getting through a lot of red tape with the university, and we're starting to get the feeling they really don't want us there. So I'm looking for alternatives to move us out of.
I know that feeling. I've had that feeling many different occasions.
What is the facility like right now? Like, what do you?
It's an old. Do you know anything about the University of Memphis?
Maybe a little.
Do you know where the field house is, where the women's basketball plays?
Okay. Yeah.
That's where all the exercise science department is, and that's my department I graduated from as well. So our weight room is basically a converted basketball gym on the 2nd floor.
Okay.
So there's lots of dropping of weights, and there's a lab right below it with motion capture system cameras.
Oh yeah.
So whenever we drop them, it moves them. One day I think we knocked one over, so that wasn't good. So
do you have like platforms and all the works? Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, platforms, really old York bumpers, I think. Decent bars. We've got enough stuff. Of course, most of that stuff is the university, so if we do move, we need more. We need other equipment. But yeah, we've got space and equipment, just a little lacking on coaching support.
Well, we have a pretty big facility here in Olive Branch with 3 nice weightlifting platforms and a bunch of Eleiko.
That's what was going through my head. I'm like, we have space to rent, I think.
So
maybe.
There could probably be something there. Am I incorrect with
sure.
that?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about people that are getting together, a couple times a week, 3 or 4 times a week, and the gym that we have and the powerlifting side of it is so nice and so new and so fresh that there could probably be some crossover there.
Yeah,
of course, I don't have my hands in any of it. I'm not going to ink a contract before we get out of it.
I'll talk to anybody because we've been talking to different CrossFit gyms around Memphis, and the box has been sort of receptive to the idea of us coming in, and we're trying to make some deals with them. I'm really hoping that they, let us come, because we won't be a burden to anybody. We'll bring in our own people and our own money, and we can work out rent or whatever.
You know what?
Just
y'all can use Vaughn's gym for fun. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally it's weird for a lot of people coming to Mississippi versus Memphis, but
the students might have a hard time getting down here, but I mean everyone else.
You should definitely come check out the facility because it's super dope.
Yeah, it is
I'd
nice.
love to see it.
You'd be in heaven if you're an Olympic weightlifter. You'd be like, oh.
moving Olive Branch.
And so so there's definitely some
come check it out.
there.
And the other side of that is we do have a nonprofit, and it's not Iron Tigers. Under the old director, it was Iron Tigers nonprofit, but now we're trying to start the Memphis Weightlifting Foundation. So it's Memphis and surrounding areas, so including Olive Branch, South Haven, everything. But we want it to be a community and youth outreach. So, I mean, we could offer coaching to local schools that can't afford a strength and conditioning coach or want to bring the sport in or whatever the case may be able to support all local area lifters, be able to help finance lifters who qualify for national events so they can actually go and experience it. And because, I mean, you know Taylor Babb, right? Yeah, I mean, we could have another Taylor Babb in the area, and they just can't afford to go to a national event.
Do you know Taylor personally?
Yeah. I
want to get her on the podcast.
I'll talk to her mom.
Well, maybe you could come with her.
All right.
That would be cool.
I think she's like a little shy, so yeah. But I know her mom really well. Kelly's been all about, yeah, you guys can come to A-Town CrossFit and use whatever you need, and she's all about the nonprofit. And I mean, they're about to open a new gym, so they're like swamped with that. But yeah, they're really, really nice. You
said when you were in college that you were heavier, heavy set. What about in high school? Did you have an athletic background?
I did gymnastics up until I started high school, and I wasn't ever going to be any real good at it, so I decided to pick marching band, and I played flute. And
yes,
yeah,
she played flute.
I decided to try to pursue that more because I was better at that. And then after I quit gymnastics, I was still at a loss because I still liked to do all of that stuff. So at the same gym, I went to another coach who coached the power tumbling team. And so I got into that, and I ended up competing in power tumbling and trampoline for my 4 years of high school. And so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, even throughout high school, I was a little chubbier. And then after all that stopped, yeah, that freshman 15 or 20, 30, whatever it is.
40.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I ask is I think your path sounds interesting in the fact that you kept going down it, and that, maybe you found that tumbling wasn't for you, and then maybe you found that you want to do something besides play the flute, and then you found running, and you took running as far as maybe you wanted to go, and instead of just giving up on it entirely, then you moved and you found what seems to be your passion, which is the powerlifting. And
Olympic lifting.
Is that a big faux pas in the
yes.
Olympic lifting
Powerlifting is like squat, deadlift, bench. It's a completely different sport. We'll fight on that one.
I'll explain it to you. So if you walk into the other side of the gym, everything on the right side is powerlifting. Everything on the left side, where you have the wooden platforms and the Eleiko stuff, that's Olympic weightlifting.
I did not know that.
And we will incorporate power lifts into our training.
And so
who's better? Who's a better person?
That's a really interesting question, because we've talked about hosting a meet and having a super total and seeing who would be better. Because obviously we have the technique training for Olympic, because Olympic lifting is very technique heavy, but they've got, the raw strength on us. So it'd be really, we want to do that. I think that's going to be coming.
The two have their own competitions, and their own totals.
They have their own
the
federations.
The powerlifting total is a squat, bench, and deadlift.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Olympic lifting is the clean and jerk and snatch.
Right.
Ooh, I like Olympic lifting then.
I love Olympic lifting.
Okay, I'm glad to know that.
Now that we've defined that.
Yeah, I'd hate to get my ass kicked in a powerlifting gym or vice versa.
Like
I really
an
don't want to
NBS.
get my ass kicked by either of them.
NBS has a lot of power lifters, and they just are like, they kind of crook their heads whenever they see Olympic lifters. And I think they want to get an Olympic lifting program there. So
Olympic lifters are more athletic, right? Like if you think about like flexibility and agility and all these things.
I could agree with that. Yeah, because Olympic lifting is going to be used to train for every other sport, because it's rate of force development, and we have a really quick rate of force development, really high power output. So whereas a powerlifter is probably going to have greater force, will have more power. So sprinters coming off the blocks, swimmers pushing off the wall, whatever kind of any sport you think of, there's a power component to it that Olympic lifting can help train.
Right.
So
which one of them is more morally and ethically sound? Which one makes a more complete human being? between a power lifter and an Olympic lifter.
I don't want to offend anybody, but like I feel
You're
like
about to. I think.
I feel like yeah. I want to be a power lifter because I feel like I could just eat whatever and drink whatever and lift as much heavy shit as possible.
I need to give you some Instagram
you know what I
accounts
mean?
to follow.
Like, is that a true statement or like,
no, I think they still have to make weights. They still have to,
Okay.
you still have to kind of be careful of what you're eating. I really don't know about guys. So
Yeah, well,
I know more about
I don't
me.
know half the things I say are true or not. In my perception,
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm totally with you.
It's like I could tell you I'm a power lifter, and
you could probably do strongman and eat whatever you wanted.
maybe that's
There
the confusion I've got there.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the road that I'm going down now because I've let myself go. I'm just getting really fat, so I'm just going to tell people I'm getting strong.
But on the flip side of that, you've got Justin Ham is a guy at our gym who does the powerlifting thing, and this dude's ripped as anybody else that you've ever seen. Like, there's like no body fat on this guy, So maybe my perception of the power lifter that.
We gotta remember genetics might play a role in that too.
That's true. Yeah.
Always those people with the good genetics, and you just hate them.
Damn people.
I know, right?
Always, yeah. Those are not good human
This
beings.
guy like cramming
No.
donuts and squatting every day, and he's like got a six pack.
And so tell me about the is it Healthy Women 901?
Yes.
How did that get started? When did that get started?
A few months ago, really.
Yeah.
It's pretty new. Like if you look at it, I only have a few subscribers and 60 followers on Facebook. But I mean, I'm just gonna keep going, and I'm hoping this might help a little bit,
It's
boost
gonna
it.
blow up now.
That'd be awesome.
It's exactly like that guy said on that show the other day. Oprah Winfrey wasn't always on the Oprah Winfrey show.
That's true.
So what's it called?
Healthy Women 901.
What's it about?
Well, healthy women in the
So I'm not allowed since I'm 6'2".
Make an exception.
Well, no. Again, I'm trying to be inclusive, and it's not just Memphis. It's
Sure.
901 because there's a lot of things named 901, and
Yeah.
my brother made the logo for me, and it was kind of reminiscent of like Choose 901. So, but yeah, surrounding areas I want to include, and so again, going back a little bit, I used to work at the Croc Center, and I had started a class there called Barbells. And it was a foundational weightlifting for women, but it wasn't just, hey, I'm going to throw you in the weight room and you're going to teach you all these lifts. That was only one part of it. I started out each session in a conference room, and I talked to them first and started out with like why you should weightlift. What's the benefits? What's the long term? And why it's never too late to start, and just got them eased into it. And then the next day I came back and we talked about metabolism and physiology, and not just, hey, ATP cleaves into ADP, and, I didn't go like science into it, but I did explain like metabolism in a way they can understand. So like in analogies, your body's a bank, food is the money, or calories are money. Every time you eat, you're putting money in the bank. Every time you exercise, you're spending money. Muscles, so like, why can't you lose fat easily? Well, fat is calorically inexpensive, whereas muscles are very expensive. So if you're not doing anything, the body's going to say, we're going to get rid of this stuff that costs too much. Things like that. It was just the way that I could.
Like that.
Yeah.
I do too. I get that.
And see, I found
It all
that
makes sense now.
Well, I was like, tell me more. What happens then?
I found that I really had a knack for that, and I was able to explain things that were really complicated, and they understood it, and they could take it home and use it, and they had lots of questions. It was a really interactive setting. We sat in a round table, and we just talked, and you had a question, and we just kept going. They were really, really receptive to that, and I really enjoyed doing that. And when I left the Croc, I was like, I want to find a way to keep this going. So I was thinking like, well, what gym could I join that would like this? And every gym that I applied at to work, they were like, they loved it. And it just never really got going anywhere like I had it. And the Croc, the Croc's internal with everything. So I had advertising, and, they made a logo for me and all this stuff. And now being out on my own, I was like, well, what do I do with this? And so it was a little harder. But through working with my clients and just keeping going with the ideas, I kind of thought, well, maybe I could start a site where, I had all the different information, everything, where I could just throw everything. I could do a blog where I just talked and got out the information that that's stuffed up in my head and needs to get out. And one of the influences to starting Healthy Women I Know was to gather all the local area events, because there's lots of things that go on that's health, fitness, and wellness related for women, or at least kind of skewed that way, but you just don't know about it. So having it all kind of there in one place I felt was a way that everybody could find it.
Yeah.
And then, they could add things on. I need someone to do some web coding for me so that I can have an interactive calendar, because right now I have to enter everything on Google Calendar. But if I could have someone, like
If you only knew someone that was a web developer, that would be weird.
Yeah.
you're my new best friend.
Somebody
You got a
dressed in
gym.
all gray.
Yeah, because the Memphis Flyer and I Love Memphis, you have a place where you can go and submit an event and it pops up on their calendar.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I wanted.
Yeah.
And so right now I'm having to search and collect everything and put it on my Google Calendar, and that Google Calendar comes up on an app on my site, and works okay, but could be a lot more efficient. If we're friends.
Yeah. Find me and hit me up. I'll
Yeah,
help you out.
we'll
That's
do
what
that.
Vaughn does. He builds that stuff, and then he runs it down the information superhighway really fast, and then he puts it up over here. And
Ones
then
and zeros.
all ones and zeros and green screens and syntax things. So you found the right guy.
I did. I'm so glad.
I was looking at your article, Spotlight the Chicken Lady. Is that your first featured
Yeah.
person?
I kind of on a whim decided, hey, I'm going to do spotlights and, talk
Yeah.
about people who are influential and, really great inspirations. And
That's Amanda would be perfect.
Me? I haven't done anything.
What do you have
Oh
done
my
anything?
God.
What are you talking about?
Come on.
hell, I said the same thing before I came here. So,
She said what every person says before they come to the podcast, which was, I don't remember what your words were exactly, but you said, I'm really not what your other guests are.
yeah.
I'm really not enough. I'm really not as much as, that's what every person says when they come on here.
Yeah.
And it frustrates me to no end. However, I do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like your thing on Sunday. Oh, it's going to suck. I'm going to be really crappy.
Yeah. Well, and
It's
we
gonna be
talked about
awesome.
before, it's a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
It's
like,
so
human
I don't
nature to-
disappoint anyone.
Yeah.
And, there's a reason for it, and probably because I know that reason so well, that's why it disrupts me so bad when I see other people do it. When you say, it's just Healthy Women 901 is just something, we don't have many subscribers, and I'm thinking that's an excellent idea. It's
I agree.
something that we
No,
need.
I agree with you there. Like, I think I have great ideas. I'm just not good at getting them out and up and going.
I'm
And
with you.
that's
Yeah.
my big problem. I've got big dreams and small pockets. So I keep saying that's like Memphis Weightlifting Foundation and Healthy Women I Know, all this stuff. I have all these ideas, all these things I would really love to do, and either not the financial power or not the audience to get it out there. And so
Well,
I think
you can throw out a lot of free stuff on the internet.
yeah.
And you can keep throwing until something
Yeah.
works.
I mean, I hope to expand this to webinars, so maybe I can have a little income off of it. So something like the barbells class where I can explain metabolism and talk someone through something, and then they can reach out to me with questions, or it can
That's
be
awesome.
interactive.
Yeah.
I'd really love it to grow. Someone told me I need to do a YouTube channel, and I was like, well, I don't know what to talk about, and everyone's like, you can talk about whatever.
You can talk
Do
about whatever.
Talk about whatever, and you can do whatever.
Yeah.
Stick your face in the camera.
And it's helping people, and you really can't put a number on that. How many followers or all that stuff is really sort of really sort of irrelevant when it comes down to it, because we run parallel with what we're doing, and we're technically not in competition with anyone, because the only thing that we want is good things for people.
Yeah.
There's only good things that can come out of getting healthy.
Yeah.
There's only good things that can come out of Lift Heavy, Run Long and what you're doing, because we're not really like we talked about earlier, we don't have an agenda.
Right.
We just want to
I think,
meet people and see good things happen.
yeah. Another one of the bigger reasons I wanted to start barbells was because specifically with women and weightlifting, there's so many myths and misconceptions about it. And, being in the CrossFit world or being in the world, that we kind of are in, we don't see it as much. But when you step outside of that, you realize there are people who still think that if you pick up weights, you're going to get bulky.
Yep.
I mean, and it's just battling that. And I think that's one of my goals with that is to be able to tell them that it's not true. There's so many other factors that go into that. And I want to just be able to spread information and spread good information, science backed. And because I'm very scientific minded, my master's is in exercise science. So I've learned to be skeptical, and I teach everybody to be skeptical. And that's one of the things that I loved about Hannah was that she approaches things with optimism and skepticism. So it's, yeah.
Have you found that the people, obviously there's a lot of people who are concerned with, a lot of women, that if I lift weights, I'm going to get bulky, which of course is not going to happen. But do you find that there's a lot of women who do start lifting weights and then enjoy it so much that they think, okay, now I want to get bulky? Like once they start down that road, then they're like, this is empowering. This is sexy. Like I want to get bulky.
Yeah. What is your thought on that? Because it's always kind of been like not a myth but like a thing that's been out there where like women don't want to come and go to your CrossFit gym because they think they're going to get big and bulky. Mm-hmm. That has not been my experience, to be perfectly honest. Like I maybe have met 2 or 3 women like that, but for the most part, most of the people that we meet on our level is, I would love to be bulky.
Yeah, or my question is, do they come in and think, I don't want to get big and bulky, and then they come in and they throw a few weights around, and then they're like, I want to get big and bulky.
As soon as you pick the barbell up, you're like, let's do this.
Oh, I don't know if their mindset changes to I want to get big and bulky, but they realize how strong they are and the empowerment that gives them, and that's what drives it more so than a physique. And I think a lot of the CrossFit, I think the majority of the CrossFit crew you get, it probably is kind of seeking it out more than they kind of happen into it. You go to a normal gym setting, it's a completely different dynamic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to walk into that environment. You're going to walk into the environment with a kind of an expectation of something.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty that go in and just think this is going to be a good way just to get in shape, or they're not sure and they're really timid at first, but then they get in, they meet great people and it becomes a lifestyle.
I stumbled into CrossFit sort of blind, just looking for somewhere to go. And I had my one idea of fitness and what people look like and what I wanted to look like and where, like we're all going to the same place to eat. And it's all serving the same food and it's abs and pecs and everybody gets ripped. And, if you don't do that, then you're kind of a loser. You're not doing something right. And what I found was that there's so many different roads to go down, and all of them are equally awesome roads. Like we were talking about, there's, you can be the big, heavy, strong guy, or you can go with the light, smaller, faster, running physique. But there's something for everybody, and you can capitalize that based on your genetics, good or bad. And that's been the fun has been in the pursuit of feeling like, I want to run for a little while, maybe look a little bit more like this. Maybe not. Maybe now I just want to squat and get a little bit heavier and do that. And, I think that probably to the outside world, there's still a lot of people that feel the same way that I do, where you have to be going for this one particular mold if you're going to fit into fitness somewhere. And it seems like that the further we progress, there's more outlets, more places that you can go, more gyms opening up that will cater to whatever path you want to go down. And I think that the powerlifting, the Olympic lifting, especially the ones that include women, is a good trend to have, because there weren't, I don't know, were there powerlifting gyms? I certainly didn't know of any Olympic weightlifting gyms 10 years ago.
No, I think Olympic lifting has grown because of CrossFit. Now we have more places that we're able to practice. I'm able to go to a CrossFit gym and drop in and get my training done. There's no, I don't know how many specific Olympic only gyms there are really. I know there's none around here other than us, but
Like that's all that they do is.
yeah,
Who did Olympic lifting 10 years ago?
it's been around. You know, Olympic lifting, it's been in the Olympics forever.
Well, I mean, I know
but,
it's been around, but what gym would you go to if you wanted to pursue Olympic lifting? Like, you wouldn't go to a Gold's gym.
Shit, I have
Like
no
in
idea.
2001, where would you go?
No idea.
You'd probably move to a different part of the country if you wanted to
You
do
specialized in it the way that probably you would if you were going to be a young wrestler. Like now we have wrestling for kids at kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school, you didn't start until freshman year of high school.
I know our old director, who was also my professor, he had his own bar and bumper set, and he practiced at home. You know, that was all he had. And I'm sure
you
anybody who
probably
was
did
in it was
home, or
at home.
you found a city that had an Olympic
Yeah.
weightlifting gym and you moved there or whatever and found a coach that was in some part of the country doing that. You know, I mean, that's probably how that works.
So has CrossFit undeniably been the driver for the Olympic weightlifting?
It's been a huge help. Yeah, like as much as honestly I like to rag on CrossFit, but but it's
I don't blame you for that.
it's been a huge thing because now there's 3 different places I can go, 3, 4, 5 maybe that I can go and at any given day and get a workout in. It's a huge help. Yeah.
And I mean, here's the progression that I've seen being in the CrossFit world for several years now is a guy and girl come into the gym. They do CrossFit workouts. It's their first experience with CrossFit. All of a sudden they're cleaning and snatching. And then they get to a certain point and they're like, this is another sport. Mm-hmm. I really love it when we clean and jerk.
Oh, yeah.
Like I really love it when we're snatching. I want to learn more about this. And then they progress to where now that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
Is okay, CrossFit was fun. Now I'm going to move on for the next 6 months. I'm not move on, but I'm going to take a year and I'm just going to do Olympic weightlifting. I might go to a competition.
There's top CrossFitters, top Olympic weightlifters who still do both. And they're not going to do both at the same time because you really can't be the top at both. But I was just watching the Worlds and in the B session. So there's an A, B, C, D session usually in most big competitions. And in the B session, there was a woman who was just in the last CrossFit Games. I mean, you'll see them go back and forth.
Yeah, and now CrossFit's having the lift-off competition, which is just weightlifting. You know, they're doing that, I think, this weekend, or they did it last weekend or something. But,
Ooh, I'm interested in that.
So, weightlifting is huge.
But isn't that great that there's so many you can want to change focus and go do that when your options used to be, let's go to French Riviera Spa.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go there, and then it's like, I don't want to go to the French Riviera Spa anymore. So what do? Nothing. Let's go smoke some cigarettes. And
Drink beer.
Yeah, I think you can give
so now
CrossFit
it's like
credit.
let's go get into running. Let's go get into trail running. Let's go get into Olympic weightlifting. Let's get into, there's just so many different active things. Let's get into obstacle course racing and Tough Mudders and all that it seems like that there's fitness opportunities everywhere, and a lot of doors are opening up to where people can peek their head in, stick their toe in the water, and get started in it and not be so scary. Which I don't know, maybe I make too big of a deal of it. Maybe I was too traumatized, but it was scary for me. It was scary for me to get into fitness. I was intimidated. I just thought it was a bunch of heads with muscles.
Well, see, if you were a woman, my site would help you a lot.
Yeah, well. And now I know it's a bunch of kids that all of them don't have muscles. But it's a bunch of range of.
You gotta just learn to be a bigger.
I can do that. I've learned that. So that's not a problem.
She set me up for like at least 3 really good jokes.
So where do you progress from here?
In which context? Because I've got like 3 different roads I'm traveling down.
I don't know. Tell me about
What's your big thing?
I've been like that all my life. I mean, I started out in foreign languages in undergrad and then went to exercise science, and now I'm going to nursing school. It's just been, I'm a jack of all trades kind of person.
What's
So
the one thing you're the most excited about?
I am the most excited about my lifting. Like, I don't want to coach as much as I want to lift.
Yeah.
I coach one athlete, and she's my 11-year-old girl that wants to be more like me. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And she's awesome. But yeah,
You mean like your 11-year-old daughter or your 11-year-old?
no, my friend's daughter, actually. I worked with the Croc with, and she showed her my Instagram videos of me lifting, and she's like, I want to lift. And so she calls me up on, like, she's like, hey, can you teach Charlotte to lift? I'm like, yeah. And she was just talking about, normal squat, deadlift, whatever, little things. But she then explained how she showed me the videos. And she thought, and I told her to look at these ones, and, Charlotte thought that was so cool. And I was like, well, why don't we just do Olympic lifting? And that kind of blew her mind, thinking that a kid could do that. And I'm like, no, it's the best time for her to start, you know? And again, that whole myth of kids shouldn't lift weights. And, I mean, she's not doing 2 times her body weight, it's full on max lifts right now. We're getting started bit by bit, but she's great. Like, she's really strong. I mean, we're hoping
when
to go.
Can kids start lifting?
I can't give you numbers off the top of my head, but lifting.
When they're old enough to pay attention and do what you're
Well,
telling
like with
them to
Olympic
do.
lifting,
Yeah.
when you have the younger ones who can't really focus, you
30.
give them a PVC pipe and say, hey, hold this over your head, do this with it, and, just make it fun for them. And as they start to get more focused, you can start putting a little more weight on, getting a little more technique oriented. Like, she's in the perfect age range to get a little more, and she's a little more focused than most kids I know. So and she's a perfectionist, so she really wants to do well, and I've had her for a few months now, and she's progressed a lot in that time.
My thought is that your average kid is eating Captain Crunch and watching Minecraft videos for like 75% of their day. So if you could get your kid even under a PVC bar and squatting, he or she
Light
Yeah.
years
already
ahead.
like miles ahead of
One
most
of-
of the kids that he's going to come in contact with.
One of
for
our
the
team
rest of his
members
life.
has
For the rest of his life.
one of our team members has an under 2-year-old, and he brings her to the gym sometimes when his wife is working, and has a little pack and play, and she plays around in there, not at all afraid of the weights or anything.
Yeah.
She's super comfortable. You give her a PVC pipe and you hold one, and you go, ah, and she goes, ah. It's hilarious. So, yeah.
Well, when I was growing up, if you did one set of 10 of bench press, then you stopped growing. That was what
Yeah,
the belief
no,
was.
that's
like
been-
you stopped right there.
That's
would
been
stop
bunked.
you,
If
right?
you lifted weights, you were done.
That's been
Anytime
bunked.
you saw somebody that was stocky, you're like, he must
that's
lift
what they
weights.
always do. Well, that's because his dad made him do the squat and the bench press. Yeah.
Either that or he drank coffee.
Yep.
It was
But
caffeine
really,
or weight.
he was
Yep.
just a
Someone
short
smoked
kid.
in the box, No, there's been lots of studies that have come out saying, that's not true. The high impact stuff can be hard on, growth plates and stuff. You keep it at a submaximal load, and give them plenty of rest and recovery time, and make sure they're eating enough. They're fine. It's probably actually helpful in the long run.
Yeah. Did you see that video? I think Scott Hollis posted that the guys, like the man and the wife, probably in the 1960s or something, and he's like cutting up a steak, and this guy shows up and he's like, "Don't eat that. I'm from the future."
Yeah, I did.
That gives you, that'll.
The eggs. It was the eggs. The eggs
And
have
then he comes
cholesterol.
back and
Yeah.
he's got the eggs. He's like, "Don't eat that. Those have cholesterol." And he's like,
That's hilarious.
"I'm sorry, I was wrong."
Yeah.
And he keeps coming back. Eventually,
that's-
he's like, we really just don't know.
I had to explain that to I had another analogy for science, and I'm sure you've read scientific journals and how it's like, well, at the end of the study, it's like, well, what was the answer there? But so I explained it. It's like, imagine you walked into this room, there's glass everywhere. It's just shattered glass. And you have to put all those pieces of glass back together. And eventually, after many, many hours and years, you start to get the shape of a vase. It's not a complete vase, but it's the shape of one. That's kind of how scientific studies work. It's like you get one tiny little piece of that, bigger picture, and that little piece really only 100% applies to that vase. If you have a statue of something, it might fit there, but it's not going to perfectly fit there. We have to kind of extrapolate what we know from this and make assumptions about another situation. So,
But we
So there.
spend a lot of time trying to mold that vase to where it looks
Yeah.
like a perfect vase.
Yeah.
And I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
We get some information. And I mean, we do the same thing just on an individual basis every day. We make stories fit our narrative. And, you know, you get some scientific information and then you're like, well, but I mean, so
Well,
it's got to work like that.
look at
I
the
mean, it
whole
makes
vaccine
sense.
thing. I'm sure I'm going to start a riot here in a second, but look at the whole vaccine thing. You had that one guy that published a study that said vaccines cause autism, and then it comes out that he faked it and, you know, all this stuff, and he's disbarred and he loses all this stuff, but the damage is done. You know, people still think that vaccines cause autism.
Ooh, thank God you went that direction. As soon as you started talking about that, I was looking over at Amanda and I was thinking, oh, don't be saying that you're against vaccines.
Oh, no.
This is going to get ugly.
No.
You know what?
I'm the
Let's just
same way.
run
I'm
down
like,
to
I got to
the-
hold my
Run
tongue
down
now.
to the Olympic Club and start talking about abort mission.
No.
Well, we have run out of our hour. I told you I wouldn't keep you more than an
Dang,
hour.
that went quick.
It does go quick.
That was fun, though.
Yeah,
We've
flies.
enjoyed having you. This is great. I'm excited for you. I'm excited about the Healthy Women 901. And
Yes,
what's going
please
on with
go
it.
Facebook, subscribe, all that stuff.
Tell us all about it. So Instagram.
I don't have an Instagram. I have my personal Instagram, and I just post my stuff on there because
Well,
I'm
you
already
want-
running
you
Iron
want people to
Tigers.
Follow that too.
Yeah, I'm already running Iron Tigers and my own, so it's like I need like 3 more now for
Yeah.
Memphis Weightlifting Foundation and Healthy. But I do have the Facebook. I've got the site. I'm starting there.
And the site is
HealthyWomen901.com.
Healthy
Yeah.
Women.
Healthy Women, the number 901.
Yes.
.com.
Yes.
All right. Looking forward to more stuff coming from you.
And Iron
Yeah.
Tigers weightlifting at the University of Memphis.
Let's stay in contact and see what we can do to help each other's causes.
Yeah.
And do great things for people.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
LHRL number
Appreciate it.
75 is in the books.